Hey fellow dadpreneurs, Adam Dukes here, and in this video I'm going to share with you a 7-part email sequence to turn leads into customers or clients, whether it's selling a service, a product. This is an email sequence I found a little while ago, earlier today I should say, that I wrote back in 2014 or 15 this was geared towards real estate agents, but I kind of tweaked it, and you could, might have to make some tweaks if you're selling a product, but this is kind of more for service-based business, but again, it can be applicable to selling a product as well with a few tweaks. So I'm going to go over what you should write in email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is crucial, super important. A lot of people drop the ball on this. They use templates. I get it. It's easier. It's faster. You're not going to see as good of results with templates though. So you need to customize it. You need to personalize it. Make it fun. Show your personality. That's the biggest thing. So many people's emails are so dry and boring, and they fall into that sea of sameness. So use these 7 email templates, or the 7 ideas of, like I said, the bullet points. I'll go through each email, what you should include in it, but make it fun. Have fun with it. I also share with you my 3 E's that I try to include in every email. It's educate, entertain, and or elevate the person. Ideally, you should do 2 out of the 3. If you can hit the trifecta and do all 3, even better. So let's dive right in, and I will walk you through this 7-part email sequence.
All right, so here is the 7-part email follow-up sequence to quickly turn leads into customers, patients, clients, whatever you call them. It doesn't really matter. This works. This was an email sequence I wrote for real estate agents back in 2014. It's tweaked a bit. It's more geared towards service-based business. However, it can be slightly tweaked to fit any like if it's e-commerce, if it's clients, if it's customers, if you're a local business, it really doesn't matter. A couple minor tweaks, and it's pretty universal, basically, is what I'm getting at. So email number 1, I always like to say I congratulate them on investing in their future. Obviously, e-commerce, it's going to be a little bit different, but if it's some type of a lead magnet, some type of a cheat sheet, a guide, something along those lines, I like to congratulate them, just make them feel good, let them know that they're making a wise decision by investing in their future. You give them the lead magnet in the email. If it's some type of a download, a link to a Google Drive. If it's a PDF that you uploaded maybe to your website or to like Dropbox, something along those lines, you want to link out to the lead magnet. You want to set proper expectations. You want to let them know what is coming, what is to be expected, how often you're going to email, or maybe say over the coming days, over the coming weeks, or maybe over the coming days, you're going to get 3 or 4 emails, 5 or 6 emails, and then I'm going to email you once a week every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, or twice a week, Tuesday and Friday, or something along those lines. You don't have to have a set schedule. Some people are set schedule. They send emails at the same time on the same day. There's pros and cons to that. It's completely up to you, but just kind of set some expectations. Let them know what's coming. You know, I'm going to share some tips on how to save money on buying a home, or save money on your taxes, or how to pick up clients, or how to grow your Twitter following, or how to get more views on your YouTube videos. Whatever the hell it is, just kind of let them know what's coming kind of down the line. Over the course of the next few days, weeks, months, I'm going to be sharing info about main outcome your product or service provides. Recommended in the PS. I'm not the best with the PS. A lot of people use the PS right below your postscript, I think it stands for, right below your name. Ask if they have any questions that you can help with, or if they want to book up an appointment. If you're some type of a sales professional, if you're in the service-based business, they can book an appointment. Give them that option, because there will be people who are ready on that first email. A lot of people aren't going to be ready, but there will be people who are ready. So, and then also the asking the questions part, it helps when you're using automated email service providers, when Google or whoever their email provider is, far majority of people use Gmail or Yahoo or whatever, when they see replies, you get like a good score in your email, that there's like a score, and it kind of tells them, hey, this is personal email, it's not just a one-way email, it goes back and forth. So asking if they have any questions, asking them to reply, that helps kind of with your email deliverability in the future. Email number 2, you're going to want to do an intro. So tell them who you are, how you got started, why they should trust you, what you've accomplished, and why your solution is the best. Now, this you don't have to include everything. This is just to kind of give you some ideas. This could be certainly spaced out over a couple emails. And you could also take a piece of that, let's say how you got started. You could weave that into other emails. It doesn't have to be all about you. You certainly don't want it to be all about you. These pieces can be weaved in and out of other emails. Storytelling is what is going to set you apart from your competition. Get good at storytelling, and the best way to get good at storytelling is to practice. Writing emails, posting on social media, blogging, whatever it is, storytelling, of course, reading books, of course, watching movies, reading fiction books, which is something I don't do. Watching movies, of course, is going to but doing it is going to be the best way to get really good at storytelling. And then again, recommended in the PS, ask if they have any questions you can help with or book an appointment. That's kind of a standard thing. It's more of a soft sell if you're going for like book an appointment, give them some value in that email and then kind of soft sell them, to book an appointment or have that as an option. Email number 3, explain how you are unique or different from your competition. This is your unique selling proposition. A lot of people, for whatever reason, don't have a USP. This is something that's so important. USP was created, I think, in like the 1940s, I want to say. It was important then. I'd argue it's 10 times more important now with all the competition. So, your unique selling proposition. What makes you different from everybody else out there? Good service is not a unique selling proposition. 17 years in the business is not a unique selling proposition. A lot of real estate agents, loan officers, insurance agents, that's what they try to go. Oh, I answer my phone on the weekends. Like, so does your competition. If your competition can say they can do it, that's not unique. So you got to come up with something really, really unique. Explain. Whoops, a little grammar error there. Explain why you do business the way you do. That could be tied into your USP as well. And then what do you offer that your competition doesn't offer? Again, the example I always use is real estate agents. There's a real estate agents. There's an office up the street here. They offer to buy your house back from you if they can't sell it in like 37 days. It's kind of a weird day number, but they have the advertisement on TV or on the radio a lot, and I hear it in the car. And that is something unique. That is telling me that they are confident in selling your home, and that's what someone wants as a home seller. You want the confidence. You want them to sell it quickly. In 37 days is relatively quick. That's just one example. This email is not about you, but the unique benefits you offer that no one else can offer. So it's more about them. How are they going to benefit? A benefit that they can't get anywhere else. It is about you, but it's not about you. It's about the benefit that they're going to receive if they work with you, if they buy your product, if they buy your service. Again, recommended in the PS, ask if they have any questions that you can help with and or book an appointment. Email number 4. So here's how you're going to benefit using my product or service. Give some benefits. So let them know you're going to lose weight in 30 days. You're going to feel better, more confident. You're going to sell your house a lot faster. I can't think of any other ones. You're going to pick up clients quickly, less confusion, less overwhelm. Try to focus on the emotions if possible, but focus on the benefits, not the if it's like a physical product that you're selling, don't sell the features of the product. Sell the benefit. What's it going to do for them? And then take that a step further. How's it going to make them feel? How's it going to make them feel if you sell their house in 37 days? As an example, how's your product or service going to make them feel? Share a statistic if you have one, or maybe a story. If a statistic doesn't work, maybe share a story about your product or service. A really good one is a past customer or client or patient. I had a patient come in, their teeth were all messed up. They came in, 6 treatments or whatever, and their beautiful white teeth and their confidence soared, and the members of the opposite sex were attracted to them, or whatever. Focus on, like I said, the emotions, but share some type of a story, some type of maybe a testimonial. If you're in like a service-based business, maybe you could have some type of a case study. So-and-so used my product or used my service, and it saved them all this tax, that saved them money on their taxes, something along those lines. Recommended link to a piece of content that discusses this in further. Maybe you have a blog post that you talked about this story in. Maybe you have a podcast or an interview that you talked about. Maybe you recorded some type of a video on YouTube or something, and then you could kind of share a little bit of it in the email and then link it out to them, or share the link to that piece of content. So email number 5. Share a piece of content, somewhat similar to the previous one. Share a piece of content, whether that's a blog, a podcast, a video, that'll help solve the problem that they're facing. You can do this infinity, this type of email infinity. I would recommend sharing. I email my database twice a week to my YouTube videos. I publish 2 YouTube videos and I send them an email each and every time I publish a video. It tells a little bit about the video. It tells a little bit about, like, I like to weave personal stories in, whether it's dealing with the kids in that, and then I tie in the video at the end for them to go to watch the video. So something along those lines. It's just giving them value. You're not asking them you're not trying to sell them anything in any way. Email number 6, describe one benefit they will receive with your service and or product. Explain the outcome. Again, the emotions they'll feel. Very similar to, I think, email 3 or 4. But again, not everyone's going to get your emails. About 20% is good open rate. So you have to remember 1 out of 5 people are you literally could send 5 of the same email, and statistically they would only receive it once. Of course, some people would open it 2 or 3 times, but not everyone's going to read the emails. So you can send, and this isn't to duplicate email number 4. It's just describe another benefit. There should be 3 to 5 top benefits that you can list off rather quickly with your product or service. So share another benefit, a different benefit from email 4. Again, recommended in the PS. Ask if they have any questions that you can help with, or link to your calendar, or if you want to book a call, reply to this email. If you want to set up a time to chat, some type of a meeting, if you're a local business, you can do that as well. If you're selling something online, an online product, I probably should have added that in. You could link your product at the bottom of the email in the PS. Oh, by the way, I have a program or a training program. That's typically what I do in my emails, is I link it at the, link to the sales page at the bottom of the email. Email number 7, this is the final email, at least for this sequence. There's really never a final email. It's an ongoing thing that should be doing on a weekly basis. So this is another opportunity to share a piece of content with them on questions they may have or general tips to help them seek out the solution they're after. You can also have a call to action in there to, again, book an appointment, link to a sales page. I typically like to only have one call to action in my emails. I don't like to link out to a piece of a YouTube video and then ask if they want to book a call and then a link to a sales page. I typically try to only do one call to action. Of course, there's times that I'll do 2, but that's what a lot of people recommend, and it makes sense. You don't want to confuse them. There should just be kind of one. When you sit down to write the emails, ideally you want to have one goal for them. What's email number 7 supposed to do? Share a piece of content with them, link to that piece of content. So here's a bonus. These are ongoing emails. These are emails that you should be, like I said, I would recommend at least weekly. Like I said, I do it bi-weekly. I used to email daily. 7 days a week. I did it for 6 months straight, and I think I missed 4 days. That was a lot of work. And so I cut back. I went back to twice a week, and I find that works for me. I don't have set days to do it. I try to do it Monday and Thursday. Sometimes it's Tuesday and Friday, though. But I try to send out 2 emails each and every week. I'm trying to add value in these emails. Like I said, most of the time I'm linking to my YouTube videos, some more content to educate them and hopefully entertain them maybe a little bit as well. So you want to tell stories. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. Storytelling is the key. Communicating and just telling stories is gonna set you apart and really tie that reader in. I tell a lot of stories about the kids. I tell stories and then I somehow segue into some type of a business and or life lesson in my emails. Some of the segues, I admit, are a bit of a leap, but that's kind of the style that I like. And some people enjoy it and some people don't. That's fine. They can unsubscribe anytime. Make it personal, not the whole email, obviously. Like I said, I typically, the first 2 or 3 sentences, typically something personal. It could be something the post office, I waited in line at the post office for 45 minutes, and I'll somehow tie that into the YouTube video I created. Or Ava did really well in school, and the teacher gave her a pizza party for her alone, and I'll somehow tie that into some type of a lesson, some type of a link to a video, something along those lines. So I try to share personal stories and kind of weave it in with a life lesson, a business lesson, linking out to content. And you should do the same, and you can do the same. You got to get creative with it. And again, it takes practice. Again, boring as death. I try to use a lot of GIFs in my emails because I love GIFs. I use the word anywho. That's kind of my transition point. I'll tell the personal story. Maybe I'll share a little too much information, nothing over the top, and then I'll say anywho, and that kind of like lets them know, okay, now it's time to the business stuff. And I've done that for years, and people have taken notice to it. I've had people reply back saying, I love the anywho in your emails. I italicize it, and then I put 3 periods behind it. That's just kind of a little thing that I do. And I'd say 95% of my emails. I put, like I said, GIFs in there. I probably do that 50% of the time. I always end my email with impact over income, and then I put my name, Adam. I've done that probably for 4 or 5 years now, and people have noticed that. There's just little, I don't know what you call them, little nuances that you just kind of, over time you develop, and your readers kind of expect it. And some of them appreciate it, some of them don't appreciate it. Again, I don't care. I'm not here to appease any of them. If they don't like it, they can unsubscribe. There's emails, I swear in my emails. I try not to, but I certainly do, because that's just how I talk. So if they don't like that, they can unsubscribe. That's fine with me. And you got to be the same way. You write your emails how you are. Don't try to please anyone, because again, boring as death. You don't want to fall in the sea of sameness is what I call it. I got that from Ashley from the Middle Finger Project, so not taking credit for that. Be helpful. Like I said, adding value, sharing tips, tricks, what you've learned, mistakes you've made. Be vulnerable. I think I have vulnerable up here. Being vulnerable is very, very powerful. Especially as a man, I get so many responses. It's weird. The emails that are hard to send, where I'm sharing maybe a flaw of mine or something that happened maybe in my childhood or something embarrassing recently that happened, and I don't like to talk about it. That's when I get the responses from people. It's weird. The harder it is to hit submit or send the email, the more responses I get. There's some emails I've spent 3 or 4 days like over analyzing it, editing it, going, I don't know if I should share that. I hit send, and those are the emails that I get responses back. My email inbox kind of blows up. I had one a couple of years ago where I talked about like depression, self-doubt, lack of confidence, and people were blown away. They're like, what? You lack confidence? I see you on the YouTube videos, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, I have shitty days, So, vulnerability is powerful. So I call this my 3E strategy. I try to include this in every email. One of these 3. I want to try to entertain them. I want to try to educate them. And I want to try to elevate them, kind of lift them up, motivate them, inspire them. I try to include one of the 3. Some emails I'll get 2 out of 3, and some emails I bat 1,000, and I hit all 3 of them. It's not easy to do. This strategy is a content strategy, not just email. I try to do this with my tweets, with my Facebook posts, with my YouTube videos. I try to hit all 3 of these because this is very, very powerful. Entertaining them, educating them, and then elevating them as well. So additional emails that you can send. This is going forward, sending out emails once a week, twice a week, 5 times a week. It's completely up to you. Play around with it. There's not a right way to do it. There's not a wrong way to do it. Just do what feels right for you. You'll find kind of your cadence. So frequently asked questions. This is an excellent email to shoot out. People have questions, and it's great to just answer them in one email. The 5 top questions, frequently asked questions. If you have 27 frequently asked questions, split that up over 4 or 5 different emails. Don't just hammer them with 27 different frequently asked questions. But this is really powerful. And typically I take the questions that I'm getting responses. People will email me asking questions. I get questions on my YouTube video. Oh, wow. Okay. That's the third time that one's come up. I bet you there's more people that have that question as well. Share case studies. Again, this builds that social proof. And these come as the case studies come in, write up a blog post about it, film a video, interview the person, and then send that out to your database. Again, links to other content. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, maybe an interview, maybe you guest blogged on somewhere, maybe you're featured in Forbes or some big online magazine. Send that out. Link to people. Or send the link out to your people, I should say. Again, blog posts, podcast, interviews, YouTube, etc. Stories, here it is. That's, I kind of jumped ahead. The vulnerability is power, sharing stories, sharing your flaws. Everyone lives in the Instagram world where everyone looks perfect and living the happy life, but vulnerability, that can really set you apart. But there's a fine line, you don't want to be a whiny little bitch about it. But being vulnerable, I talk about me going to therapy. That was something really, really hard for me to admit a couple of years ago. Now I scream from the mountaintops talking about going to therapy because I'm very proud of it. And I want other men to be okay with it. I've had many, many men either Facebook me or email me privately and ask, why would you talk about that? Or, does that help? Do you know how I could find a therapist? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm really big on that. Like the response I got a couple years ago when I shared that with people, I was like, man, this is a stigma, a negative stigma for men. And I kind of want to be a voice of it and say mental health is very important. And yes, I go to therapy once a month and it's extremely helpful. Again, how you got started, share your journey, why you got started, why'd you get into the business that you're in, share that as well. Over time, they should know that. They should know your story, especially like your background story or your up and coming story. I got stories that I've shared over the years 38 different times, Some people are probably sick of hearing it. But again, when emails are 20% open rate, you have to understand you can share the story many, many different times. And you're going to share the story differently and it's going to hit people at a different time. So don't think you're just repeating yourself. That's not the case. If like Gary Vaynerchuk, Andy Frisella, those are two guys that I follow, that I have a ton of respect for. They have pretty much the same message. They've had the same message for years. I still listen to him. Dave Ramsey, he's built a $100 million plus business and his general message is spend less than you make. But he's still very, very successful. That is the core message. So don't think you're going to repeat yourself. Or don't worry about repeating yourself because again, you're going to tell that story in a different way each time or that message in a different time. You're going to have new people coming onto your email list and then also the person might not be ready at that specific time to hear that message. They might be ready in three months. It might hit them different. Obstacles you overcame. This is a big one. I really like sharing. I'm very proud of sharing my failures. I'm very open about it, because I find it helps a lot of people. Like I'm not ashamed of it. I'm very open about sharing my failures. I had one lady respond about a year and a half ago to an email and she's like, I've never met a marketer that talks about failure more than you. I'm like, I like talking about that. That's something I like talking about.
So that's how you create a 7-part email follow-up. It could be 5-part, it could be 3-part. You can change it, tweak it. Obviously, there's no right way to do it. But like I said, try to educate, entertain, and or elevate in all of your emails. That'll go a long way. And again, storytelling is key. Being personable is key. A couple years ago, I had a marketer respond to an email of mine that said, "You're weird," or "Your emails are weird." I took such offense to that. I was a weak marketer at that time. I took offense to it, and now that I look back at it, and I was like, dude, that's such a compliment. Being weird is such a compliment, because boring is bad. Boring is the death of business and marketing. So use that framework. Like I said, it could be a 3-part, it could be a 5-part, 7-part, 28-part. It doesn't matter, but use that framework to do your email follow-up and watch you turn more leads into sales, clients, whatever it is you're after. If you like these videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click that little bell notification, because I put out videos every Monday and Thursday. As always, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, please post them down below and I'll do my absolute best to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'll try to find someone or point you in the right resource. As always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it.